All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into something we do every single second, moving. We're going to break down the three fundamental ways your muscles actually contract to create force, stability, and all of that motion. So let's jump right in. To really get how we move, we've got to first understand what a muscle contraction even is. You can think of it as the engine behind, well, every single thing you do. Really pause for a second and think about it. When you lift something up, lower it down, or just hold it completely still, what are your muscles really doing on a mechanical level? What's going on in there? Because here's the thing, it's not just about flexing, right? The word contraction kind of makes you think of a muscle just getting shorter and bunching up, but it's way more interesting than that. Muscles can generate force while they're shortening, sure, but also while they're lengthening, or even when they're not changing length at all. And all these different actions, well, they're neatly sorted into three main buckets. Isotonic, that's all about changing length. Then you've got isometric, which is completely static. And finally, isokinetic, which is a bit of a weird one. It's all about constant speed. So let's break each one of these down. Okay, first up is isotonic. This is the one we're probably all most familiar with, even if you've never heard the name. It's basically the workhorse for most of your daily movements and pretty much any exercise you can think of. So what is it? An isotonic contraction is when your muscle changes length while it's under tension. The name itself is a hint, you know? Iso means same, and tonic means tension, so same tension. But here's where it gets really cool. This one idea actually splits into two totally different, almost opposite kinds of actions. So, isotonic contractions have this kind of yin and yang thing going on. You've got concentric, where the muscle shortens, and eccentric, where it lengthens. One is like hitting the gas, and the other is like hitting the brakes. Let's look at what that actually means. All right, concentric. This is that classic lifting motion we all think of. So picture a squat. When you push up from the bottom, standing back up, your quads, those big muscles on the front of your thighs, they're contracting and shortening to straighten your legs. That's the power phase. You're overcoming gravity. And this is the other side of that exact same coin. As you lower yourself down into that squat, your quads are still working hard, they're still under tension, but now they're actually getting longer. They're acting like a brake, fighting against gravity, so you don't just flop onto the floor. And let me tell you, this eccentric phase, it's absolutely crucial for building real strength and control. Okay, so we've covered muscles changing length. But what happens when a muscle contracts, but doesn't move at all? Well, that brings us to our next category, isometric contractions. Yeah, this quote really nails it. Contraction without any movement at the joint. The force you're putting out is perfectly matched by whatever you're pushing or holding against. So, nothing moves. You've got tension, a whole lot of it, but zero change in muscle length. And that's the key idea here. The muscle is firing, it's working super hard, but because the force it's generating is perfectly balanced by the resistance, it can't shorten or lengthen. It's just locked in a static hold. It's all about creating stability without any motion. A perfect example, the ski sit. Oh man, if you've ever had to do one of these in a gym class, you know the feeling. Your quads are screaming, they are on fire, they are absolutely contracting to hold you up against gravity, but your body isn't moving an inch. That static hold, that's a pure isometric contraction right there. And that brings us to our third and, honestly, most specialized type, isokinetic contractions. Now, this one's a little different. It's not about changing length, it's not about holding still, it's all about maintaining a constant speed. So by definition, an isokinetic contraction is when a muscle changes length, but the movement itself happens at a constant, controlled speed. You're not going to find this happening much in your day-to-day life. It almost always needs some kind of special machine, the kind you'd find in a physical therapy clinic or a high-tech sports lab that literally controls how fast you can move. Think about a fancy stationary bike, one of those dynamometers. You're pedaling against some resistance, right? But the machine is programmed to keep your speed constant. Say exactly 90 RPM. No matter how hard you push, you can't go faster. Your muscle is contracting to match the machine's speed, not to accelerate. It's a really specific type of work. So there you have it, isotonic, isometric, and isokinetic. We've gone through the definitions, we've seen some examples, but let's get to the real question. Why does any of this actually matter to you? How does this apply to your life? Well, understanding this stuff helps you train so much smarter. For example, once you know that the eccentric phase, that lowering part, is where you build a ton of strength, you can really focus on moving slowly and with control on the way down. See, that lengthening under tension is what really stimulates muscle growth. And those isometric holds, amazing for building rock-solid stability. You can see how different sports demand different skills, right? Think about the explosive concentric power of a sprinter versus the incredible isometric strength of a gymnast holding an iron cross. So the next time you're at the gym, or honestly, even just carrying groceries up the stairs, think about it. Are your muscles shortening, lengthening, or holding steady? Because being able to recognize the difference isn't just some fun science fact. Knowing this stuff, that's the first step to unlocking brand new levels of strength and just moving better in everything you do.